The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
It is a gorgeous and beautiful Friday, May 25th, down here at the World Headquarters for Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. And today, every May 25th, is Nerd Pride Day. So if you're watching Tiger TV, you're seeing a wonderful picture of Lambda, 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 Revenge of the Nerds. What a great movie. I say Oscars all around. What do you think? Just can't be any better. But you gotta think anybody named Booger in a movie's got to be pretty good. But that's just I guess that's just my thought. But it was, for what it was, I guess it was a fun movie at the time. But a pretty nice day down here. We've got pretty much a nothing day in the stock market. Pretty much what I was looking for. Sold about half our positions out yesterday. One for a really decent profit. In probably around 26 and out at almost 31. So probably the followers of my Path of Least Resistance newsletter probably a little happier today. But kind of going sideways. I didn't think there was probably much going on out here today. I continue to see a lot of stocks being totally washed out. Doesn't mean that we couldn't have a storm come along, but everything I'm seeing looks like a big washout and maybe getting ready for a summer rally. Certainly, we'd probably have to go down to about 1285 or lower and get a close in there to really make me think that this isn't just a retracement in a bigger bull move out here as they continue to print money and inflation. A lot of other stuff moves along. I suspect that, and we're going to get into it now, I've always had a theory that there's a fairly decent change in the mood of the market after three-day weekends, and it probably comes closest to something that is used in the what is it? Not Chap. I'm thinking about Chapman and Wave so much I can't think of anything else. The five-wave pattern that a lot of people like to talk about. Of course, you can only see it in hindsight. You can never see it in foresight, so it's not something that I spend a lot of time on. But one thing I did learn early on in there is what they called the rule of alternation. The rule of alternation is that if you have a kind of a straight move like we've had down, then the next move out of that is going to be extremely choppy. So if you have smooth moves up, normally the retracements will be extremely choppy. If you have choppy moves up, the retracements tend to be real smooth. They'll tend to change. But over three-day weekends, I suspect that a lot of people get with other people and they start talking and they either talk themselves up or talk themselves down. Either things are good getting better or bad getting worse. And they tend to reaffirm themselves. My guess is that everybody will be a little happier, especially down here with gas prices almost 60 cents lower than they were just a few weeks ago. And I think we'll probably have just a little bit better mood in the country. But you might check out that. You can always Google rule of alternation. Elliott Wave, yeah, thank you, Axman. Elliott Wave pushes that. I'm not a big subscriber in it because no one I have known has ever been able to tell me in advance what wave everyone is in there. But they always seem to know it in hindsight. So not much of if you have a lagging indicator, probably not a lot of good. He's also been bearish, I think, forever, the end of the earth. And of course, occasionally you're right with those predictions, but and in fact, the market tends to reward a lot of people that are continually negative. I grew up around Kansas City, and Joe Granville was one of the biggest guys out there, always the go-to guy. Even before CNBC, the satellite feeds, they'd go to Joe because he was always predicting the end of the world. And in '87, when they had the crash, he was big man on campus. Well, you know, he'd been bearish for 7 years before. He's been bearish for 20 years later. You know, if you're always bearish, eventually, like a clock, you're going to be right. You know, the old saying is, stop clocks right twice a day. I tend to think that a lot of our problems are going to be taken care of, maybe not by Europe, by the rest of the world as they slowly go from a third world to maybe a second world economy. And even if there are just a handful of people that are buying iPads and computers, that slowly those people are going to sell their sugar cane, their oil. That money's going to move around. Even if it's drug money in South America, people are going to start getting educated. And overall, even if it's not here in the United States, economies will improve, and maybe it's not in Europe. Maybe it's in Brazil. Maybe it's in the BRIC companies or the PIGS or all the other acronyms that everybody throws around here. But I'm rationally optimistic. The world continues to grow. Just 12 years ago, we had 6 billion people. Now we have 7 billion people. The resources, products everybody needs is pretty much going to be there. So, I had a question in the den here, and I'll just bring it up. What if there's no holiday in Europe? That question almost presupposes you've never been in Europe or ever tried to get anything done from about today till the 1st of September, because they are on holiday forever. They don't do a damn thing. At least let me put it this way. 90% of the people over there I met never would do a damn thing from this date until September. We had offices in Russia, in Surrey, in England, and we had local dealers. And trying to get anything done was impossible. You might as well just write off the 3 months of summer because they were not going to work. They were in a youth hostel somewhere, camping or hiking or doing everything in the world. I think the only people that work are the people that own the hotels. That's about it. But I'd go over there and try to get anything done, and everybody was gone. If they did work, they were drunk skunks by about noon. And this was, if you're used to being in England, if you were in engineering, if you didn't get it done by 12:30 in the morning, it wasn't getting done. Because they all came back, and in the colloquial terms of England, they were pissed and not mad. They were drunk and didn't have a lot. They came back, they had a couple of pints, and of course, it's not like what we have over here, a little 12 or 16-ounce glass. They were having a 32-inch pitcher for lunch. So now, they do come back and they do work hard the rest of the year, but it's just a European thing. I mean, they take off. They don't spend a lot of time. A lot of places don't have air conditioning. I went to a very expensive resort hotel for a convention. Actually, one of the most bizarre conventions I'd ever been in Switzerland, in Montreux. And it was at the beginning of the summer, like June. And it was like 95 degrees and humid and hot. And we were in one of the swankiest hotels, no air conditioning. And I got stuck with somebody else that worked in my English office that liked to snore all night. So I turned up the TV all real light, real heavy all night. So he couldn't sleep. So basically, we had a horrible week in a beautiful country. But just trying to get anything done there is darn near impossible. Now, maybe in the last 10 years, things have changed because I haven't been over there. But for 10 years that I went, starting about 1990 till about 2002, it was just like pulling teeth to get anything done. So normally when they talked about putting engineering or anything else over there because it was going to be good for taxes, I had to remind everybody in the organization that they were only going to work 3/4 of the year and in mornings during the summer if you were lucky. But it's a kind of a cultural thing. It's kind of like Greece thinking that they can work 25 hours a week and get full services from the country. It's just one of those things. But I don't know. I'm not thinking that there's anything really happening in Europe till next September. But they're pretty much off all the time. So nothing really new. But I did want to get into that rule of alternation. And the reason I brought it up is how many times the actual character of a marketplace changes after our long 3-day weekends in the summertime. It happens to a lesser extent, Thanksgiving and Christmas, other vacations out there, but generally the volume is so slow on those days, and it's actually a half a day on Thanksgiving. So, you get back and you also get a lot of numbers, so it's a lot more volatile. But normally on these 3-day weekends, the 3 of them across the summer, we get a lot more change in action. I think part of it's slowing down the momentum of the market. And normally you see a decent change from down to up or down or up to down after we come back, and people kind of calm down. And if they're selling or if they're euphoric, they tend to come back the other way. Not a given, but I would say probably 65-70% accurate. And actually not too bad, especially when a lot of people spend a lot of money chasing things like moving averages that over time are, even at their best, or 1.5% to 3% better than a flip of a coin. If you get something that's 60%, 70% accurate, that's the gold in the market out here. So watch that. But even if they don't change from down to up, the character of the market will change. We've pretty much had this straight down march for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and I suspect that it's going to be choppy. Even if we don't get the direction I'm looking for, I suspect we're going to get fairly choppy. And I think intraday we've probably pretty much had that. But I think on an ongoing daily basis, maybe even into July 4th weekend, we could have a nice uptrend in here. But it may be one of the hardest things for you to hold ever. When we look at some of the, we're probably going to get to some of the stocks. We've got about a minute and a half left. I wanted to answer one question, too, that was brought up on our Wednesday show, and I should have thought of it, but, maybe while I was getting on the TV here, I wasn't thinking about it so much. But a gentleman asked whether or not LinkedIn had all its shares unlocked. And I said, well, normally you have to go to the prospectus and find out, check their filings. There's one other way that I didn't think about during the show, but I've done before, and I did on LinkedIn. And that is, if you go to the website for the company, normally there'll be a link for investor relations, and there'll be some way for you to go ahead and enter a message and give them your email address back, and they'll send you it back. LinkedIn has no more, but it is kind of critical to actually put on, Jim Palmer with tablets. We're going to get to him in just a second. We only have about 30 seconds left, Jim, so I'll catch you on the other side of the break. But what I wanted to say is you can go to Investor Relations, email them, and actually get the answer. And I did get it on LinkedIn. They are totally unlocked. So Investor Relations is another way. Go straight to the company and ask them. Since it's in written form, if they lied to you, there's some pretty heavy penalties. So pretty decent way to get find out if everybody's totally unlocked on that. We're going to come back with Jim and Palm Harbor and talk tablets.
It's that time of year again, and the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway is back. Every day in June, Monday through Friday, we'll be giving away a Great Panther Silver 1-ounce silver bar, and all you have to do to enter is visit the front page of TFNN.com and fill out your entry. Great Panther Silver and TFNN wishing you a great start to the summer. Sign up today to have a chance to win a 1-ounce silver bar during the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway the whole month of June at TFNN.com.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we had Jim from Palm Harbor calling, and I want to say hello to Jim. How are you doing today?
Hey, David, how are you? I wanted to, a couple questions. I wanted a follow-up on that IPv6 addresses that they were going to run out of Internet addresses, and also if you had an opinion, if you've taken any time to compare like the Asus versus the Samsung tablet versus the iPad yet.
I've looked at all of them. Let's do the IPv6. One of the things that I have seen just in the last couple of days is more and more of these address spaces being bought up. Okay. As a lot of the internet service providers continue not to spend any money and upgrade their IPv system. So I think that's still a viable thing. Some lady about 86, I saw this on Wednesday, somehow she inherited 1 million IP addresses.
Wow.
And she's like 86 years old, didn't have a lot of money, but somehow her son died, and he had the rights to these, and she's going to end up with like $10 million. So they're still selling them. And I guess the article was she just sold them or had put them online, and someone was asking that or about, and they thought that she wouldn't have any problem selling them. So, those IP4 addresses are still being sold, and people are paying up for them. So, the question is just when does it happen? I remember kind of a famous speech maybe about 2 years ago by Bill Gates And the guy asked him, I said, well, why did you miss the internet? He said, miss the internet? We were doing it 4 years before it became a big deal. He said, we may not have been perfect on it, but the train was coming down the road. Eventually it was going to hit us. But he said, until 92 or 93, it really didn't hit a critical mass. People couldn't get online, everything else. And he says, in 88, we were playing with it internally. So, it's one of those things. Now, when does the crisis hit? I thought it was going to hit probably last fall. And, everybody still coughs up a few more addresses, but eventually it will. Or
are they running translators that it's just slowing down the internet access speed?
Right. Yes, they are. There's nothing new in that. So, but it's the get by plan. And I'm actually going to talk about this on tonight's show on the technology segment.
Well, I'll have to listen in. What time will that be, David?
5:20.
Okay.
But one of the things that both Google and Apple are really working hard on is to get in on setting up their own networks, because they see that with all the on-demand video and everything else, that the Sprints and the Verizons of the world are happy with their slow networks. They're not willing to spend a dime, and Google's taken an entire town in Kansas City, Kansas, and hooked it up to gigabit Ethernet.
Okay.
So the next big thing I think that these guys are all going to spend their money on is probably wiping out AT&T, Verizon, and all these other people that continually think that they can give less. When you go over to Europe, internet speeds are 2 or 3 times faster than they are here in the States.
Are you talking fiber optic, or are you talking wireless internet faster in Europe?
Both. Everything. They pay in Europe, the last time I looked, they pay a little less than half and get on average twice the speed we do.
Wow.
And, there is something to be said with, you can, in 8 hours, you won't get a third of the way across our country, but you can be in four different countries over in Europe, right?
Right.
So there is a little smaller issue, but the governments over there have done very well in making sure that what they do have keeps up with technology. And over here, it's, whatever the... for the most part, phone companies can get away with. And, anybody that's listened to me for a while knows that most of these phone companies have always been doing that. They grew out of used car dealers in the Midwest. That's why Sprint is in Kansas City and most of the other ones, besides that it's a central point of the United States. But IMCOM and some of those other ones that all started in the late 70s when AT&T broke up, they really never had the customer in mind. They were trying to sell something cheaper, and that mentality is, it's the same thing. If you probably went into a doctor's convention or a lawyer's convention, they'd all probably talk and act a lot the same because they've been through the same experience. And I think most of those folks in the data communications things all think alike, which is, how can I not spend any more money on my infrastructure but charge more on the end?
Gotcha.
And, for me, to me, it looks like, that both Google's already done that in Kansas City, Kansas, and Apple is eyeing, actually building their own internet, high-speed version of their internet for high-speed, high-definition video.
Are they doing that from scratch, or are they acquiring other smaller companies to do that?
Well, you want to get me on the other side of the break here?
Yes, I will.
Okay. We'll be back with Jim in Palm Harbor in just a minute.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. Would you like a personal update from Tom O'Brien as to what equities he's trading and what his daily trading plan is before the market opens each morning? Every market day, Tom O'Brien sends out his daily newsletter, Market Insights, to hundreds of subscribers that rely on his daily recommendations when it comes to navigating these highly volatile markets we're dealing with. As recently as May 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out all 5 open positions for a combined profit of over 68% in one day. Profits ranged from 6.5% to over 24%, and all of these trades had been initiated within the previous 30 days. Now is the perfect time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's explosive trading newsletter, Market Insights, an $85 value. Tom breaks down the market each morning with his market take and provides trade recommendations including precise stops and target profit zones, leaving nothing left to guessing. Log on to TFNN.com today and sign up for your 2-week free trial. Make sure you're a subscriber the next time Market Insights subscribers close out multiple winning trades. Take action and sign up for your free trial today. Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her Small Cap Roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Direction Shares. To learn more about tactical tools for the sophisticated active investor, hit the Direction Shares banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we were talking with Jim from Palm Harbor, which is a small hamlet around the Tampa area. And Jim, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You were talking about tablets and iPads. What were? In fact, let's finish up with the last thing we were talking about, which is you were saying, is Apple going to do it out of whole cloth or a Google? And my guess is that both of them are going to do it. Some colleges, I think it's either yesterday or today, I think it was Apple or Google is pushing to make gigabit networks at like 5 major colleges.
Okay, I'll have to start looking for that, see if there's a way.
I didn't spend a lot of time on that particular article today, but there are a lot of people looking at these networks and knowing that Verizon and AT&T are not going to spend a dime to actually do it, and it's going to be critical for the growth of the Internet and control. Now, Apple, when you ask, I suspect both of them are going to do it from whole cloth because the culture clash of pathetic weasels, which is the current crop of, as far as I'm concerned, the current crop. But I think that the California boys are all going to think the same thing. That is, let's start over. Let's get rid of the ditch diggers and the guys that are trying to just get by and ream the customer as much as they can and get something that we can offer for maybe a premium, 20% more, but something that can stream HD video from Netflix tonight, at a decent rate.
Okay.
But when you look at Apple, they built that huge facility over in, I think it's in Maryland, North Maryland. And when you think about what they could actually put in there, I saw some calculations. They've got a building that's probably 5% occupied. And the debate has always been what's going to go in there. And my guess is their long-range plans is that they want to have something compete with Google and a internet control facility. So I think eventually that is Apple's, whether they end up doing that or they scrap it now that Steve Jobs is done or gone. But Google spent a lot of money trying to figure everything out in Kansas City, Kansas. So both of those guys, I suspect, all want to do it themselves and are probably going to go to the highest density cities first to start doing that. And I don't know if it's going to be some kind of wireless connection or, but it's going to be gigabit Ethernet by the time it gets to the end user customer. And both of them know that if they don't do something about it, that it's going to hurt them long term as the internet finally gets plugged up. And more demand than there is supply. So I actually wrote about this in one of my newsletters today. That Cisco says that their business isn't any good. Well, then you go to Microsoft and he says that business even in Europe is gangbusters. So to me it is people that have perpetually done poorly, like those guys at Cisco. I'm less likely to believe them than someone that's just broken out, and their stock seems to be reflecting that. And I think, what did he say on Wednesday? I think I said that he thought that by the middle of 2013 that they'd sell 500 million copies of Windows 8.
Okay.
For Bomber. So, to me, that whole thing and the IP addresses and everything, is more a function of something like Netflix and streaming video than anything else.
Okay.
But that's it. Now, you were talking about tablets and iPads and stuff?
Yeah, I didn't know if you took a look at any of the newer pads. I still think it's, $400. They've got an Asus transformer pad with a NVIDIA chip.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know whether... And I've had a nephew that asked me my opinion. I really haven't done any research on it. I was just going to pick your brain if you've...
Now, here's my favorite, and that's going to be the Windows 8 one, because I can write a program that runs on my phone, my tablet, and my PC all together. But that's just me because I write my own software. So, it's going to be... That Windows 8 tablet is probably going to be my favorite, even if it doesn't become the favorite of the entire world. Now, my guess is that business is probably going to adopt Windows 8 just because you can run a spreadsheet and a word processor. And according to my understanding, that you will get that Windows 8 on the tablet will come with Windows Office.
Because but I'm looking here, Samsung has that Galaxy tablet. You've got the iPad. You got the Asus Transformer pad. That's a 32 gig tablet running.
The Google people themselves, I'm trying to remember if it was, I think it was Serge, said that what you needed to wait for was the next version, which come out September.
Okay.
From the software side, that he thought that it was going to be much, much better than Apple's. And to tell you the truth, I bought the HP one for $100 when they blew up.
Right.
And that's enough for me to play around the house with right now. I'm not going to spend any money on a decent one till all this stuff shakes out.
Was that a 10-inch screen?
Yeah, that's pretty. It was and I think you could still buy them for like $169 some places. And for what it is, it was fine. And actually, you can even find versions of Android to root it and put on it if you want to go to Android. But for just a browser, which is all I was using it for, I think it was fine. But I suspect that right now iPad is the undefeated winner in that space with usability and nice software. For $500, I just don't use it enough to matter. But I suspect that if these guys aren't lying, that they're finally going to get their software up to iPad levels, and I think at that time you're going to want to buy hardware for that version of Android, because I think it's probably going to use more memory. It's probably going to need a little bit more horsepower in the processor. So,
well, that Asus tablet is 32 gig. It's the 10-inch screen. It's got the NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor, and it also, it runs Flash. So if you download something from the web,
yes,
a lot of that stuff is running that you can't see on an iPad.
Right, and that's one of the nice things about that HP one, is that you can still run Flash stuff on it. But it's, in fact, I think Google just hired away half or more of HP's development staff, either yesterday or the day before. I saw an article on that. But you're going to see, I suspect, a head-to-head battle coming this fall between iPads and the products. It's hard for me to get excited today about anything that I know is not going to work come this fall.
Okay.
Ballmer actually showed off an 80-inch tablet in his office yesterday, running Windows 8. So I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. I can't really say that probably until this fall, until we see all the stuff. Now, we're probably going to get heads up here in the next couple of weeks. We've got another Consumer Electronics Show. We've got 2 developer conferences from Microsoft and from Apple. And I think a lot of the stuff that they're working on is going to pop out, including a smaller iPad or iTablet or iPad is coming out in the fall from Apple. I saw that also today. So they're going to have like a 7-inch tablet, or maybe 6.5 or something like that. So they've got new products coming out also in the fall in a smaller form factor. And I would imagine they've been nosing around this German TV manufacturer and whether or not they're going to use that for the competition to the full form size that Microsoft's been showing this week on that 80-inch.
Okay. I'll have to take a look at that. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather.
You too.
Good to talk to you.
Thank you, Jim. So anyway, we're talking about that, but we got a lot more things coming on tonight. I'm going to give you a little taste. This is one of these days where I can't wait till tonight to show this, because it is just so cool. And if you are watching on Tiger TV, it's probably not going to look quite as good on in the den here, because we only have 8-bit, but I'll try to do this. There is a new invention. It's a coating for bottles. And if you're watching on Tiger TV, you're going to watch and see this is ketchup coming out. How many times have you been beating on a ketchup bottle to get the ketchup all out of it? And if you see that, it comes out like they've come in and Tefloned the entire inside. I'm going to run that one more time if you've not seen that. But this is a coating for all bottles. Glass bottles that have actual products in them, and you've never been able to get it out, or half of it's wasted or anything else, especially ketchup bottles. How many times have you pounded on a ketchup bottle to get the ketchup out? I mean, this has got to be the best thing since sliced bread, night baseball, and a lot of other things. But the kids from MIT have come along and come up with a new coating that they call Liquid Glide. And this coating on the inside of it really is not just for bottles. They're talking about using this on pipelines to reduce friction and a lot of other stuff. Supposedly it's going to be cheap enough that it's only going to add like a half a cent to a cent of a bottle. But anything you saw that you have in a bottle where you get a lot of waste. I always think about applesauce. I never can seem to get all the applesauce out of my applesauce jars. That's always ticked me off. But some of these simple things are things that can make a lot of money. But I suspect this is going to be something that's used on a lot more than food products. But it is already got an FDA approval on it, and extremely cool. Technology. Technology takes forms of all. I've got Alan, our engineer and producer, in the other room saying, "How about toothpaste?" I'm wondering if it wouldn't shoot out too far. You squeeze it a little bit, and then that's it. But it is going to be interesting. We're going to get to a few. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight in the second hour of the show. Tonight we're going to have Steve Rhodes doing the 4 to 5 hour And then me coming in at 5:20, and we're going to talk a lot of technology before the end of the day. But get the last 40 minutes into the show. We're going to cover this liquid glide and some other things we've seen out here in the industry. What else do we have? I wanted to check in on a few stocks that look like they've bottomed, and this is why I'm thinking that we're getting about ready to turn the corner out here. That is a very light volume on these, and of course, even in a pullback today, got some of these look like they're setting up fairly nicely. Let me go back here and check the market real quick and see whether or not, or what I've got here to see. The market was kind of fading the last time I looked, but I suspect by the end of the day we're going to be up or down a couple points in the S&P. No big deal. 1317 right now, so not much going on. 2.4 billion shares, so extremely light volume. You'd actually like, if you are bullish, as I am, you'd probably like to see this thing kind of come back in a little bit lighter. But it is going to be, 3 billion shares maybe by the end of the day. We'll have to see how many come in late in the day. But continue to think that we've probably made a bottom here. If you're thinking short, I would imagine that it's going to take through the 4th of July for this market. Even if I'm wrong, we go something like 1350, go to 1380. I think it's probably going to take through the 4th of July for this thing to crack. But we'll continue doing it. We're going to go to Steve in Largo here while we finish this up. I was going to show Alcoa, but we have Steve in Largo.
Hey,
how you doing today? I always like Largo because even before I ever made it down here to Florida, Largo was the name of the guy in the James Bond thing that had the big ship that went out. They had the nuclear bombs and stuff in the 60s. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that. I just know that all my relatives around the country think I live in Key Largo, and I'm south of Miami. I'm up by Tampa.
That's it, in the hamlet. So what would you like to talk about today, Steve?
I'd like to know the odds. Give me some odds of Germany dropping the euro and going back to the mark.
I'd say 1%.
That's not going to happen then, huh?
Never is a long word. I'd say in the next 5 years, 1%.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I can see Greece dropping out, and maybe Spain and some of the others. But every time they drop out, I think it's just going to make the union stronger. You're going to get the weaklings that don't want to compete out, and they're going to be handicapped forever. I'd hate to be 15 years old in Greece right now and know that I have the same fate that the people in Ireland have, which is that half of everybody that graduates from college in Ireland leaves the country.
Well, how long is Germany going to pay everybody else's bills?
They've got so much money. Even back in the 90s when I was going over there, I was shocked to figure out that they'd actually won the war. After everything they lost, even in the 90s, they owned everything then. And it's just gotten worse. They own literally everything. As far as they're concerned, they don't want a lot of turmoil, but they own everything already. I mean, the countries that want to do stuff, they probably own 80% of the manufacturing capacity up on the Rhineland. And I mean, that's what made the Second World War possible. They just have that whole river, being able to manufacture products and steel and heavy machinery, everything else. You just don't find that anywhere else. I spent a lot of time over there in Germany. If you want to talk more, we'll catch you on the other side of the break. But we will be back in a minute.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when temporary market spikes move against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the advantage of keeping your trades open even when the market temporarily spikes against you. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique short-term binary options that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650. I should get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
And very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, Did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted that was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. Catch Tom O'Brien, founder and CEO of TFNN, professional trader and educator. Also a special guest on CNBC, analyzing the commodity markets. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
As we come back, we're going to go a little into the charts. Since we've got a kind of a quiet day out here, and we're going to, we've been able to avoid charts here today to a great extent. Not a bad day to do it. Always quiet going into a 3-day weekend. Normally the volatility, I think on average, going into 3-day weekends is generally, is he still here? Steve, you still there? I thought he dropped. Alan, my wonderful producer, is checking. So we'll find out if he's still there or not. Okay, I was pretty sure he was gone. But anyway, we're looking at these markets, but, volatility on average is on 3-day weekends in the summer is extremely low. So the chances of something happening without a big news event early in the day are generally fairly rare. So, if we go up and down a few points, no big deal out here. But we'll continue doing it. I'm going to check back in just one last time. We looked in, off 3.5 points on the S&P. So support's right around 13.15, resistance around 13.25. We've kind of been bouncing around in that area today without a lot. I just continue to see a lot of stocks come in with lighter volumes and slowly move up. A little bit of short covering here today. Apple still probably in a trading range somewhere between 560 and 580. When we get that 580 test, probably Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday next week, we're probably going to find out a lot more about how the tech sector is doing. It's going to be kind of, they've got, like we were saying, they've got developer conferences and consumer electronics shows coming up. I think the Apple one is the 28th, which is Tuesday. Is that right? Of next month? Yeah, that's Monday. I guess it starts, I can't believe it starts Monday, so it's got to start Tuesday. So we're going to find out a lot more. Anyway, we're going to talk about Alcoa since it was one of the ones that it looked kind of fairly ugly out here. But it looks like it's making a fairly decent base. It is closing above the point that would make it a buy signal, although I'm probably not going to play it. But I think it's a good indication of what's going on in the marketplace. $8.45 was on October 4th, 49 million shares. Tried to get to it, still a nickel above it. Your bet is to always wait for these high volume lows to get tested, even if they're not. You come in, and we came down to $8.31 with half the volume. We've closed back above it. Volume continues light. In these kind of trades, the risk reward is just as good as you get out there. We were talking, I guess, in the den actually a little bit about American Online. Said in my newsletter today that if I was looking for a stock to short, American Online would probably be one of my highest. I'm not thinking of it, but certainly it's breathing on some rarefied air for a company that continues to lose their customers, not so much by them just turning it off, because most people that are stuck with AOL email addresses don't know how to change them. Literally, their customers are dying because they're at such an old age. So, they popped on, maybe kind of slowly turning this thing around. But my belief is that this is a doomed company. The chances of catching it here right, probably a little tough. It did bounce on higher volume, but if I was watching one and I was pretty sure the world was going to hell in a handbasket, I'd be looking at AOL up here. Testing 25 million shares with 770,000. Anyway, you all have a great weekend, a safe weekend, and we will be in the second hour of the Tom O'Brien Show tonight.